natin. So, ito yung iba't ibang determinants of demand. So, ito yung mga factors that can change the demand curve. So, first one, we have here the taste and preferences of consumers. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng mag-shift to the left or shift to the right ang demand curve natin. Depende sa taste and preference. For example, ito yung demand curve ng meat. Yan yung demand curve ng meat. Ngayon, let's say, ito yung demand ng meat sa Catanduanes. Ayan. Ngayon, yung mga tao sa Catanduanes, bigla silang naging health conscious. Ayan, naging health conscious sila. Tendency, instead of buying meat or eating meat, they are consuming vegetables or fruits. And dahil doon, mababawasan ang demand natin for meat. Kaya, the demand curve will shift to the left. Ayan, nag-shift siya sa left. However, kunwari ito naman yung demand curve ng vegetable. 'Di ba? Nagbago yung taste and preference ng consumers from mahilig sila sa meat, biglang naging health conscious sila. Kung ito yung demand curve ng vegetables, tendency mag-shift to the right ito. Ibig sabihin, mag-i-increase ang demand for vegetable kasi naging health conscious na yung mga consumers. Ayan. Now, meron din tayong tinatawag na another determinant of demand is also the income of consumers. Ngayon, when we say income naman, depende yan sa klase ng good. Okay, let's say for example, tumaas yung income mo. What will happen to your demand for meat? Okay, kung tumaas yung income mo, ibig sabihin may pera ka parang pambili ng meat. Pero, pag tumaas, so ibig sabihin, mag-i-increase yung demand mo for meat. What about sa sardinas? Sa mga delata, mag-i-increase din ba ang demand mo pag tumaas ang income mo? Hindi. Kasi, yung mga delata is an inferior good. Ayan, inferior good siya. Ibig sabihin, binibili mo lang ito kapag wala kang enough money to buy yung mga meat, yung mga chicken, kung kulang ang pera mo, 'di ba? Kayo as students, kapag pecha de peligro na ng mga baon nyo, tendency bibili kayo ng mga instant noodles, instant pancit canton, ano pa ba? Siomai, ayan, or ano ba? Or mga delata, ayan. So, yung mga yun, ang tawag natin doon is inferior goods. Inferior goods. These are goods that you buy because you cannot afford the normal goods. So, ano yung mga normal goods? Itong mga normal goods, ito yung mga products kung saan, pag tumaas yung income mo, bibili ka ng maraming ganito. Or mas may kakayahan ka na to buy this normal goods. Ano-ano ito? Ito yung meat, yung chicken, yung beef, ano pa, milk tea. Milk tea is ito normal good. Okay. So, may dalawa tayong uri ng good. We have the normal good and the inferior goods. Okay. Okay. Di pa pala tayo tapos. Now, let's say for example, ito yung demand curve for normal goods. And ito naman yung demand curve for inferior goods. So, pag tumaas yung income mo as a consumer, let's say bumaba ang income mo. Ayan. Dahil bumaba ang income mo, pwedeng hindi ka makabili ng meat, let's say. So, tendency, bababa or mag-shift to the left yung demand for meat. Ito siya. Meat is a normal good. Ayan. Shift to the left. Ibig sabihin, magde-decrease yung demand mo for meat. However, yung demand mo for inferior goods will shift to the right. Ayan. Again, pag right, it is an increase. Pag shift to the left, it is a decrease. Okay. We also have here consumers' expectation. So, sabi lang nito, let's say for example, ito yung demand curve for gasoline today. Ayan. Now, binalita na tomorrow there will be mababawasan daw yung presyo ng ng gasolina. So, syempre, yung mga consumer, they are expecting na tomorrow babawas ang presyo ng gasolina. So, what will happen to the demand curve of gasoline today? Ang tendency niyan is that magsishift siya to the left or babawas. Babawas ang bibili ng gasolina ngayon kasi maghihintay sila magkinabukasan para bukas na lang sila bibili. So, that is another factor that can shift the demand curve. Yun lang naman yan. We also have here the number of consumers. So, syempre, very obvious. Kapag rumami ang consumers, mag-i-increase ang demand for certain goods. Let's say, for example, ito yung demand curve for meat sa isang community. Ngayon, rumami yung population doon. And dahil rumami yung population doon, syempre, mararami din yung demand nila for food. So, it will shift to the right. Ayan. Mag-shift siya sa right. Okay. Now, meron din tayong prices of related goods. Another factor that can change the demand is the prices of related goods. So, for example, ano ba? For example, di ba, yung mga goods natin, meron tayong tinatawag na substitutes. So, ito yung may mga alternative commodity. For example, kung hindi ka bibili ng Pepsi, Coca-Cola yung bibilhin mo. Those are substitutes. Meron din tayong mga complements. So, when we say complements, ito naman yung mga goods that is required to enjoy the commodity. Or, kumbaga, we consume this together. Kunwari, bread and palaman. Ano pa ba? Sugar and coffee. Ayan. Those are complement goods. So, sinasabi lang dito is, let's say for example, meron kang ito. Ayan. This is your demand curve for Pepsi. Ayan. Ito yung demand curve mo for Pepsi. Ngayon, nabalita na yung Coke daw, which is also a substitute. Ayan, substitute mo yung Coke. Is bumaba yung presyo ng Coke. So, dahil bumaba yung presyo ng Coke, yung mga consumer, bibili na lang ng Coke kesa Pepsi. So, what will happen to the demand for Pepsi? Mag-shift siya to the left or babawasan ang demand for Pepsi. Okay. Next, we also have the complements. So, for example, ito naman ang demand curve for let's say, sugar. Ayan. Or ito, sugar. Okay. Now, the price of coffee decreases. Bumaba yung presyo ng coffee. And dahil bumaba yung presyo ng coffee, according to law of demand, tataas ang quantity demanded natin. And dahil tataas ang quantity demanded natin sa coffee, tataas din yung demand natin for sugar. Kasi we consume coffee and sugar together. So, mag-shift naman itong demand to the right. Ayan.